Canada, the world's second-largest nation, spans over 4,600 kilometers from north to south and 5,500 kilometers from east to west. However, much of the country remains uninhabited due to the harsh environment further north. Most Canadians live in large cities near the border with the United States. The main habitable areas of Canada stretch from west to east, encompassing diverse geographical features from sandy deserts to lush forests. Defined by the Pacific Ocean to the west and the Atlantic Ocean to the east, Canada's motto, "From sea to sea," is fitting as it also touches the Arctic Ocean in the north. The country spans 6 time zones: Pacific Time, Mountain Time, Central Time, Eastern Time, Atlantic Time, and Newfoundland Time. The West Coast, the westernmost region of Canada, bordering the Pacific Ocean, is known as the West Coast or the Cordillera region, which includes British Columbia. The Coastal Range Mountains, extending from Alaska and situated near the ocean's edge, define Canada's Pacific border. The Canadian portion of the Rocky Mountains runs eastward, forming the boundary between British Columbia and Alberta. Both mountain ranges are home to vast evergreen forests and diverse wildlife, shaping the world's stereotypical perception of Canadian nature. Between these ranges, rich valleys and the Okanagan, a small, warm, dry region in southern British Columbia, can be found. This arid area, sheltered by the mountains, provides a climate suitable for growing fruits and vegetables, making it home to some of Canada's largest orchards and wineries. The Canadian Prairies. East of the rugged mountains, Canada's landscape flattens into the vast region known as the Prairies, encompassing the provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. These provinces contain some of the driest and least forested areas in the country, serving as the backbone of Canadian agriculture with their expansive fields and flat arable land. However, there are also arid desert-like areas in southeastern Alberta, renowned for their rocky terrain and large gravity-defying rock formations called hoodoos. Often overlooked, the northern prairies have a hillier, more wooded landscape compared to the southern plains. Dominating the central region of Manitoba are 3 large lakes: Lake Manitoba, Lake Winnipegosis, and Lake Winnipeg, surrounded by lush vegetation, rivers, swamps, and bogs. Central Canada. Central Canada comprises the 2 largest provinces, Ontario and Quebec, which are part of the extensive geological formation called the Canadian Shield. This region, also known as the Laurentian region, features rolling hills, grassy fields, deciduous forests, and a rocky, barren north, bordered to the north by the vast Hudson Bay and to the south by 4 of the 5 Great Lakes: Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. Ontario and Quebec are dotted with thousands of smaller lakes and rivers, many surrounded by wetlands inhabited by beavers and moose. Most of the region's population resides in the Great Lakes St. Lawrence lowlands, a stretch of low elevation and fertile farmland along Lake Ontario's shores and the immense St. Lawrence River, both of which flow into the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Canada. Atlantic Canada, east of Quebec, encompasses the 4 Atlantic provinces of Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia, as well as the Appalachian region. The Maritimes landscape is a blend of rocky coastlines and woodland interiors, shaped by proximity to the ocean, steep cliffs, high tides, and expansive coastal fjords, while the Appalachian mountain range extends into parts of northern New Brunswick and Newfoundland. The interior is largely low-lying and covered in trees. The small Atlantic provinces are known for being densely populated compared to other Canadian regions, with only Newfoundland having significant areas of uninhabited terrain. The most remote among them is Labrador, which, though formerly part of Newfoundland, lies on Quebec's mountainous northeastern tip and is home to the TORNGAT Mountains, Canada's highest range east of the Rockies. Northern Canada. Northern Canada is a loosely defined region. All provinces, except the Maritimes, have sparsely populated northern areas characterized by long, cold winters, heavy snowfall, and permanently frozen soil. However, the North typically refers to Canada's vast northwest portion, including the 3 northernmost territories: Yukon, Nunavut, and the Northwest Territories. While Nunavut and the NWT have mostly rocky, barren landscapes with minimal vegetation, Yukon in the far west features a more forested Cordillera-style environment. Canada's far north consists of a vast archipelago with icy tundras, frozen glaciers, and towering mountains. This remote, unique region contributes significantly to Canada's image despite being visited by few people. Home to polar bears, seals, and narwhals, it has sparse vegetation and minimal human population. Weather in Canada. Canada's weather elicits a mix of dissatisfaction and defensiveness among its residents. Undeniably, Canada is one of the coldest countries globally, with winter seeing many cities endure lows of -20 degrees Celsius, heavy snowfalls, icy winds, and frozen roads. However, most inhabited areas enjoy pleasant springs, mild autumns, and warm summers, giving Canada 4 distinct seasons. Canadians are irked when outsiders generalize that their country is frigid all year long. Those living near the Atlantic or Pacific coasts often face less snow but extended periods of heavy rainfall and a generally damp, gloomy atmosphere during fall and winter. The dry prairies experience less rainfall, but occasionally see powerful thunderstorms and tornadoes, sometimes called Alberta clippers. Central Canada's harsh, snowy winters typically transition to rainy springs and hot, humid summers. In northern Canada, extreme weather polarization occurs, with summer days lasting up to 24 hours and fall days being almost perpetually dark. However, even the north has its warm, green periods in inhabited areas. Canada's natural resources. Canada is undeniably one of the world's wealthiest nations, possessing a vast array of valuable natural resources. Most notably, Alberta, a prairie province, holds some of the largest oil and natural gas deposits on the American continent, making Canada a major energy-producing superpower of the 21st century. Alberta also has the world's largest proven oil sands or bitumen reserves, securing Canada's position as the world's second most oil-rich nation behind Saudi Arabia. Mineral deposits are found in all provinces and territories, except tiny Prince Edward Island, although types vary between provinces. Canada is a leading producer of zinc, potash, and uranium, found mainly in Saskatchewan. Significant nickel and copper deposits are found in northern Ontario and Manitoba, while the Atlantic region is known for its iron and coal reserves. Gold has been historically discovered almost everywhere, and diamonds are becoming a significant revenue source in Canada's northern regions. Controversially, Canada remains a leading producer of asbestos, a hazardous insulator primarily mined in Quebec and exported to developing nations with lax health and safety regulations. Provinces and territories. Canada is divided into 13 subnational units called provinces and territories. The first 10 are provinces, while the remaining 3 are territories. Historically, territories lacked self-governance and were directly controlled by the federal government in Ottawa, but this is no longer the case. The only significant political distinction between a province and a territory is the name. The provinces and territories comprising Canada are among the largest administrative divisions of any nation in the world. Together, they are bigger than most independent countries. Due to the sparse population in much of northern Canada, these regions also have some of the lowest population densities globally. This is primarily because few people reside there. Nearly 90% of Canadians live within 160 kilometers of the United States border, which mainly follows the 49th longitudinal parallel on Earth. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.